You are one of the largest exchanges in the world. I've read the other day, trillions of volume being processed and tens of millions of users still around the world. I know you've gone through a kind of licensing journey over the past few years in major jurisdictions. Maybe talk a little bit about that in terms of your philosophy now, running one of the largest exchange and what licensing means to you and where are you seeing some interesting kind of regulatory approaches that your team has been looking at?
Right. So for licenses, at the beginning, I was thinking, licenses is a lot more like for branding. So when
Mm,
you have licenses, people trust you more. But nowadays, actually, when we got more and more licenses, I realized that actually for licenses, when you actually is also the process of refine your infrastructure, your product,
I see.
your whole system. Because when you get license, not only is license, but it's also some rules from the regulators. They
Mm,
ask you to do the like anti-money laundering, monitor of market manipulation, and
mm,
also the safety, the asset safeguarding. So all these kind of rules, you also realize that's quite important for the regulators, but it's also very important for the users. So you need to, do the fundamental change of the whole system to meet the requirements from the regulators, and you also benefit from that. That's why people trust you, not because you get a license, right?
mhm.
Because you change your system, you meet the requirement. So that's different. And now, we got more and more license. We got license from Dubai, VARA, and we also get license of MiCA license from
I
Europe.
think recently some of the kind of major exchanges that's been around for some time, like BitMEX,
Hmm.
BitMart, I think was the other one, recently announced that they're shutting their business. I mean, I think that caught a lot of people by surprise. That's probably, I think, what you're discussing in terms of getting the trust factor and the regulatory recognition probably play a bit of a role in that. What do you think? Because you're seeing all these other players, they've been around as
Yes.
well and now they're going out of business in a sense.
It's not like a big surprise for me. During the past 13 years, when I was operating the business, I met a lot of things like that. One is because of competition. Another one is because of, I think, some big problem in the company. Some companies, for example, BitMEX, I don't think they have any big problem, but only because of competition. But nowadays, you see that more and more exchanges are doing the same business. So they're trying to compete each other. And especially you can see that most of the customers actually, the largest customers actually is from the Chinese community. So
Mm,
they cannot do very good job in Chinese community, right? So, they don't have, especially now, the whole trading volume of the crypto trading is getting down. So they cannot stay in this area with a reasonable cost. So I think this is a good decision to just quit smoothly. And it's good for the users, right? They can all get their assets back. But for the other exchanges, actually, they could do a lot of mistakes during the past of our operation. We did that
mm,
before. I remember after the first year of operation, we lost like around 3,000 Bitcoin because of the hacking. Yes, so we pay back after a few years. That I did the experience, so I know that for a cryptocurrency exchange like CX, it could be some difficult thing happened in the company, but you don't want to reveal to the users. And
yes.
someday when you cannot hide from the users because of withdrawal, because of other stuff, you have to stop running. So quite normal for me, but I think from the users, they need to recognize, which exchanges differ. A good example is DEX. Some users, they trust themselves, so they can manage their own assets with own
Mhm.
private keys. So they have their Web3 wallets, they can do trading on DEX. That's good for
Yeah.
them. But for the other, most of the users, I think, now at least more than 50% of the users, they still need to use CX because
Mhm.
they are not professional people can manage
Right.
their own funds. It's even, more risk for them to manage it by themselves. So CX is still, safer for them, right? So for people like that, I still recommend them to do more research about the CX, how they work.